3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. It's still a little bit
too high.
Tiny bit. We're almost there. 1, 2.
Alright, no worries. Doesn't really matter if you can't get through the head.
Nah. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks okay. How are we looking? Audio test. I was trying not to stand on him, that's all. Yeah, okay. I was trying to pick my footing so I didn't stand on it.
Like that, yeah?
That's fine, yeah. Yeah. One, two, 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. One, two, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
That's full blast. That's full blast line, that's good. Sounds alright. Testing 1, 2, 1, 2.
1, 2, 1, 2.
That was your one.
Good evening, Hume City fans, and welcome to National Stadium, the home of the Hume City FC. Tonight we go into battle against South Melbourne, and we need you and the Red and White Army to bring the noise and support the boys as they fight for 3 points. Before we get into the 1, 2, 1, 2, a moment to thank our main
Yeah, it's good.
nights like these possible. Naciol, Palermo Perfumes, Doobie Finance, Senol, the Grand Hotel, Pet Blues, Blue Windows, Grand Foods, Macfield, Straight Line, Aviso Specialty, Box Sign, AS Lodge Tennis Courts, RHF Stone, Roxburgh Park Hotel, State Plains, Sultan Halal Meat and Small Goods, Altenbush, Broady Motors, Checkplat, The Arcos, Optimum Building Services, Plastercore, Portable Industries, Prestige Panel Beaters, Rectify, Sahara, Sener Bessie, Social Fair, Ultratube, Waste Sense, and last of all, Westwood Wheels and Tyres. And of course, a massive thank you to you, the fans, for being here tonight. Whether you're a long-time supporter or if it's your first time at Hume City Football Club, we appreciate your passion and support. Now let's meet the starting 11 for your Hume City FC. Number 1, Michael Weir. Number 2, Joseph Ford. Number 6, Aaron Reardon. Number 7, Lloyd Isgrove. Number 10, Burkan Kurda. Number 12, Mark Ocheng. Number 14, Harry Ashcroft. Number 18, Michael Dompe. Number 21, Joshua O'Kane. Number 22, Erdenis Yildiz. Number 23, Aysen Ishak.
Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2. Won't hear that. Well, that background noise is gone. See if you can hear it. That's full blast. Well, that background noise is gone. Oh yeah, I get what you mean. You can hear a little bit. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing.
Has this brought to you a couple of changes for Hume City with Godfrey Dembele and so Joel Russell dropping out of the team. Domfe and Yildiz coming in to the team. Michael Domfe scoring the opening weekend of the campaign. We'll be looking to try and repeat the dose tonight as well. That 11 in full. Michael Weir is in goal for Hume City. Expect to see a back four of Joseph Ford, Harry Ascroft, Mark Oshieng and Aisin Ishak. Midfield three of Josh O'Kane, Aaron Reardon and Birkin Kerdar, with the front three of Lloyd Isgrove, Michael Domfe and Dennis Yildiz for South Melbourne. They make a couple of changes themselves from the sides that lost to the Dandenong Thunder last weekend. Javi Lopez will be in goal. Back four, Jordan Lampard, Marco Jankovic, Jake Marshall and Ross Archibald. Ahead of them, midfield of Morgan Evans, Jack Pope and Rob Harding, with the front three, we think, of Gustav Mahler, Max Mikkola and Annie Brennan. My name is Oliver Walker-Peel. Alongside me is Mark Ivkovic. And Mark, as we mentioned right off the top, it seems to be a massive, massive game for South, but not for the reasons we usually expect when it comes to South Melbourne.
Yeah, it's been a bad patch of form for South Melbourne. Massive game for them tonight. They need to get their season back on track very, very quickly. And likewise for Hume, you know, a massive defeat last week that they probably didn't see coming. They took the lead and then ended up losing the game 5-1. So, you know, a big opportunity for them as well, because if they win tonight, they'll go 6 points clear of South Melbourne on the table, which will have them settled nicely into the top six.
It's the former Hume man in Andy Brennan who got us kicked off and underway. So much expected of both of these football clubs, both with deep runs into the Australia Cup late last year. Of course, South Melbourne ending Hume's run in that particular competition. All over to the South Melbourne right. It was a run to Rob Harding, who tried to lift it in. It's Grove. Turned so many heads since arriving on these shores before the start of last season. He's bundled over. And a free kick given by our referee, Adam Bavchar.
Obviously, marking their territory tonight already. South Melbourne very aggressive from the onset.
Kerdar, he's brought down, no free kick. Mikkola moves away. Got it left. He's trying to get numbers forward, but Brendan there dispossessed. Scored twice for Hume in the league. Both of those goals coming here in a 6-0 rout of St Albans back in 2021. Did score in a 1-0 win over Hume in July in the Doherty Cup, one of 5 meetings between South Melbourne and Hume last season, and South Melbourne winning all 5. It's not been an opponent that they particularly like to face, South Melbourne, from a Hume point of view, Mark.
No, South Melbourne did have the wood over them last year, and like we said, it's a different team tonight. That faced Hume last season. Obviously, no Harry Sawyer's the glaring omission. Big opportunity for Muller tonight. He hasn't really settled in too well at South Melbourne. He scored a couple of goals off the bench, but besides that, hasn't provided too much. So big opportunity to show what he's worth tonight. Looks like Ochieng's started up out wide for Hume on the right-hand side.
I'll clip forwards. Dealt with by Evans. Domthe fending to shoot and rolling right for Ochieng. Options in the middle if you can pick one out. Arcs one in towards the middle, and it's glanced wide. Josh O'Kane making the run into the box, inches away from a Hume opener.
Be concerning for South Melbourne to let a chance like that happen in their 6-yard area. It's been the concerning thing for South Melbourne, not just the lack of goals in the last 3 games, the no goals and the lack of attempts on goal, is how poor they've been defensively as well. Last week, Harvey Lopez pulled out 4 or 5 world-class saves. They could have easily lost that game 5-0. Another example there of their poor defending.
It's been a hallmark of South Melbourne teams over recent years that they're so dominant in the air in both boxes, and hasn't looked like that in the last few weeks as Hume have a player down here. Gives the game a little bit of a chance to breathe. Mason Ishak slowly rises. Made his debut in the NPL Men's Victoria competition with Pascoe Vale in 2019. More recently been with Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City at NPL level, and joined from Altona City for this year. Game back restarted. Yildiz. Saw that blocked by Evans. Going into the challenge there, Rob Harding.
I'm sure you can probably just see it on the footage that the old line markings from the previous home game. You can see Hume's widened the pitch tonight for this evening's game, which is a bit of a smart manoeuvre by the coaching staff. Will make it a lot harder for Max Mikkola to reach the penalty area from his long throws.
It might be hard to pick up on the stream, but here at the ground there is a fair difference between old lines and new. Pope lost it. O'Kane. Hume coaches thought he was bundled over. And the referee, Adam Bavchar, tending to agree. Worth a mention too that there's a change on the Hume dugout with Rick Marchioli suspended. Was Halil Hussain, the man on the team sheet that was listed as his replacement.
It's a really lazy foul by Max Mikkola there. No need to give a foul like that in this kind of area.
Particularly when you consider the calibre of players that Hume have got by way of set-piece quality. And Kerdar is standing over this. He will float it in, right footed towards the back post, and getting underneath it is Ishak. Flag up anyway for offside, so all academic in any case.
Gee, looked like he timed his run really well, but didn't time the timing of the header that well. Really should have found the back of the net. Even though he was offside, still needs to get that on target at least.
Be a welcome comfort for South Melbourne fans with a bit of goalkeeping consistency with Javi Lopez back in for a second straight week. Used 3 goalkeepers this season, South Melbourne, through injury and suspension, has sent down the left for Mikola to chase, but well covered off by Joseph Ford. It's now to play for a Hume City throw. First time from Isgrove. Chance on the right-hand side for Hume. It's back central for Lloyd Isgrove. Rolls it left. Yildiz forward inside the box. Turned behind by Morgan Evans for a Hume City corner. And the hosts continuing a rather strong start.
Very strong start from Hume City. Really penetrating that South Melbourne defence quite easily. Just getting in behind 3 or 4 times already in the first 5-6 minutes. It's really hard. When you're in a rut like this, it's really hard to snap out of it. You know, if they can get the first goal of the game, South Melbourne, it'll make them relax a lot more. But it's like they're just walking on eggshells at the moment, hoping nothing goes wrong.
There comes Kerdar over the corner. It's all about playing for this club. Played here as a junior and now at senior level. Whips in, dangerous delivery and punching away Javi Lopez. Mikola to relative safety. And for all the talk a bit earlier on, Mark, about dealing with high balls and being dominant in the air, they dealt with that well enough in the end, thanks to a good bit of goalkeeping.
It was really good goalkeeping from Javi Lopez. Crowded penalty area and just came out like that. Eyes on the ball, claimed it comfortably.
Miller flicking that one on. Sky high by Reardon. Ricocheting off a couple of South Melbourne players. Appeals for handball waved away. Sent over towards Brennan, who will face Mark Ochieng. And will roll the ball left. South Melbourne dig out a cross, not one that gets past the first man, Mark Ochieng, who blocked it away. Appearance number 122 in the Victorian top flight for Mark Ochieng. Joining the club midway through 2019 from Dandenong City. A spell at Adelaide United in the A-League men's competition prior to that. And we talked about the line markings earlier on, the pitch being widened. This might be the first time that comes into question with a Max Mikola long throw being loaded up here. Six-yard box loaded up, as one would expect from this situation. Mikola hurling it long. And a grappling in the box, shouts for a spot kick. Adam Babchar unmoved. And eventually moves, but only to point for a goal kick.
Jeez, they just about dealt with that, Hume. Looked like they were going to deal with that comfortably, but made a little bit of a mess of it.
Bit more work for them to do here, perhaps. Miller trying to get involved. Brennan picking up the pieces. Beats O'Kane, whips it in. A slice ball onto the bar. And there's no one in all blue to turn home the rebound. Almost a horror moment for Joseph Ford, but Hume get away with one. Ochieng away. Would have been a huge slice of luck for South Melbourne, but they take anything right about now.
Yeah, that's the irony, isn't it, Ollie? South Melbourne have barely created a chance in about 3 games, and their best chance comes from a nearly free-cone goal.
It's Kerdar. And a push then from Archibald. Right on the whistle, if not just after. There is something in this game. This is set to be NPL Men's Victoria at its best. Two teams who you sense are in desperate need. One of a number of wonderful games on the menu for this weekend, but this is shaping up to be a belter. Kerdar. That one's not quite effective from Hume's number 10. Nodded back to Harvey Lopez. Mentioned a bit earlier on how Hume haven't been able to get the wood over South Melbourne at all in any competitions. They're winless in their last 9. In terms of league play, it's 1 league win in their last 22 for Hume against South Melbourne. Ball out of bounds at the edge of the box. Breaks for Mikola. Surrounded by a few in red. He works it left for Brennan. We'll try and float one in. Not fully dealt with as Malaire flicks it on. Trying to dance through the middle of a couple was Ross Archibald, and that one's out of play for a Hume throw.
It's been a good spell of about 5 minutes here for South Melbourne. A lot more positive, a lot more intent going forward. Can they sustain it for the 90 minutes, though? That's the question.
It's interesting, both of these clubs, considering they were both on the end of some bad results last time out. You just wonder what gives. There's a vulnerability for both sides to exploit if they're good enough, and it's just a case of who will. Pope thought he'd won it fairly. The South coaches thought the same. The referee didn't. So it's a Hume free kick.
Looked like he won the ball fairly there, Ollie. It's tough free kick to concede there. It was really great pressure from him.
Brennan lost it. They can Kerdar. Isgrove. With a switch of play over towards the right-hand side. Too long for Ochieng. Lloyd Isgrove, a man with undoubted quality. Second season in this league. 15 goals in 26 games. And that's a stat line you'd think. Certainty for the gold medal. Wasn't even the player with the most votes on his team last year. Shows you the embarrassment of riches Hume had here last season with Amir Abdallah since departed, winning the gold medal last term.
I think that's his departure has probably contributed to why Isgrove's had a bit of a slower start to the season as well. The last season, opponents were able to probably block out Abdallah, and then Isgrove would fire, and then vice versa, block out Isgrove, and then Abdallah would fire. So now it's just Isgrove really on the wings that you really want to shut out. No disrespect to the other the Hume attackers, but much easier to shut Isgrove out now that Abdallah's moved on.
The throw here for South Melbourne. Mikola, you know where this one's going. High and into the middle. First contact coming from Michael Dunfair, back doing the defensive duties. Behind for a South Melbourne corner.
Well, so far, so good for the Hume City groundsman. I think pushing those touch lines out wider, really you can see with that throw that didn't even come close to reaching the 6-yard area.
Well, he fared better with the corner here, Max Mikola. Once floated in towards Muller. Couldn't get that one goalwards. And Hume may be able to catch South Melbourne on the break. Kerdar. Slipping over at the crucial time, Mark Ochieng. Esteban Quintas not happy. You sense that frustrations and potential pressure might be getting to him.
Yeah, definitely. You know, results are going their way. Haven't won for 4 weeks. Not a position that Esteban's familiar with. You know, he's really excelled, especially in the home and away part of the season. You know, finishing first last year, second the year before, and first the year before that. So it's been very consistent in the home and away format. A very unfamiliar territory for him.
And that's the other side of the coin, isn't it? They're going to ride every single tackle, every bit of good defensive work on that South Melbourne bench as Kerdar pulled back, free kick Hume. It's going to be a fiery affair on the touchline.
This is where you see a team's mental strength as well, Ollie. You know, backs against the wall, things haven't been going your way. You really need to just pull your finger out and give the performance of your life, really, to get things back on track. And that's all the supporters would want to see, is just the team fighting for every challenge and trying to create chances going forward. You know, they don't have to win every game. It's just the way they've lost the last few games that would have been really disappointing for the supporter base.
Ishak invited forward down the inside left channel. Domfe, is he in? He was offside. Javi Lopez quick to try and close him down, but none of his outfielders were quite as quick. Good ball through, but Domfe making the run too early.
It's really poor defending again from South Melbourne. Just one simple pass, just straight through that South defence. Evans getting caught out wide. Marshall not really aware of Domfe's running behind.
Kerdar. Composure. Forwards. Good touch from O'Kane. And here's Millett. Trying to make Hume City pay. Over towards the speedy Brennan. Matt Stride for stride by Ford, who put in a great challenge to win the ball off him.
Jeez, what a challenge that was. Andy Brennan was off down that wing.
And South Melbourne win it back. Here's Brennan again. Edge of the box, looking to try and find Millett. And South Melbourne can't keep it. Good pressure this though from Esteban Quintas' charges. All over towards the right-hand side. Rob Harding trying to arc one in. Hume able to deal with that. Looking for a late birthday present is Rob Harding. Turned 24 yesterday. Sure he wouldn't mind a goal contribution tonight, particularly given how South Melbourne have gone. That won't help the cause for his team though, with Weir claiming that easily.
Hume just need to settle things down a little bit here. They're losing possession in really dangerous areas, playing some risky passes. Just need to keep it simple for the next 5-10 minutes just to regain a bit of composure.
Here's Grove towards Domfe. And O'Kane, the goal scorer for Hume. Last Friday night in the heavy defeat to Heidelberg. Pulls back Mikkola, who wanted the afters, and it's boiled over. It's reached boiling point in Broadmeadows.
Over nothing as well, Ollie. Just both reactions there really unnecessary for a nothing challenge.
A fair crowd for Adam Babchar to try and pick his way through here. Max Mikkola in Adam Babchar's crosshairs. Josh O'Kane set to join him. As you say, over very little. And a yellow card apiece, probably the fair result out of all that.
Yeah, again, very unnecessary by all the parties involved. Just just a little nudge. No need to get too upset about it. Just take the free kick and move on. But sometimes the macho man ego needs to come out, Ollie. Need to show who's boss. And there's 20 22 egos on the pitch. No one's going to really back down, are they?
Not in a game like this that means so much for so many. If you weren't sure what you were tuning in for tonight, there's a snapshot for you. Two teams who will leave absolutely nothing out there. Particularly given precarious situations on both sides of the fence. Free kick from Marshall. Central for Malaire, chesting down. Trying to pull one back for Brennan. Behind for a South Melbourne corner. And South Melbourne really have grown into this game in the last couple of minutes or so. A good spell this. And you just feel they need to cash in.
Yeah, 100%. You know, they are attacking a lot more than they have in the last few weeks. Haven't created a real clear opportunity as yet. But it's a good spell for them that they do need to take advantage of.
Mikola sending one high, and we're punching it away. Kerdar losing it to Harding. Sent back in towards the back post. Malaire couldn't get a decisive touch. Didn't matter in the end. It's an absolutely massive South Melbourne goal. Andy Brennan, the former Hume man, returning to face his former employers and having a crucial say.
It's really, really poor defending from Hume City. Michael Weir would have been disappointed with the way he's punched that, and then losing possession on the edge of the area like that, as they have in the last 5 minutes, probably 3 or 4 times. Should have just cleared their lines and nothing would have come off it. But South Melbourne with that constant pressure and probably a deserved goal, to be honest.
Yellow card the way of the South Melbourne bench and the Hume bench. In the aftermath. Fireworks on the pitch and fireworks off them too. Andy Brennan had moments to savour last year against Hume, and moments he'd rather forget too. He was red-carded in the preliminary final last year, a game that South then went on to win. That's a moment he'd prefer over that for sure. Balls played against Adam Babchar. Hume keeping possession, so we'll play on.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered for South Melbourne. We said that they would need to take the lead to find their feet in the game. Look, it's a really good spell for them for the last 5-10 minutes. So to cap that off with the goal will give them a lot of confidence in this game, much needed confidence that they've been lacking the last 3 or 4 weeks. Give them more belief that that they're still capable of playing good football and winning games.
Kerdar riding the challenge. Rolling it across, O'Kane. Options left and right. Finds Ochieng. Drives it in low and away at the first time of asking by Jankovic. Brennan going over under the challenge of Mark Ochieng.
That was a really poor ball into the area by Ochieng. You get into good areas like that. Really need to whip it in with a bit more pace.
There are storylines everywhere you look around National Stadium tonight. And that's all you'd ever want. Brennan, the goal scorer, goes over. Now rising to his feet. Isgrove, rather sloppy. Harding. Trying to do the business on Yildiz, who read him like a book. Isgrove. He hits the deck and he was impeded, according to Adam Babchar.
Been really good tonight, Jack Pope as well. Coming in for George Mel's in the middle of the park. He's got a lot of energy. He's up and down, fighting for every ball. Obviously, Esteban's brought him in for that high energy in the middle of the park.
Ricoeur to take this. Right-footed towards the back post. It's some delivery. Bounces around and eventually finds its way through to Javi Lopez. Wicked delivery, but no one in red able to turn it into a goal-scoring chance.
Curtis' delivery tonight's been exceptional, really giving the South defence headaches. The Hume attackers aren't timing their runs to perfection to get a clean strike on it. But geez, his delivery's been exceptional so far.
Ishak over towards Ochieng. Cleared away by South Melbourne. Ochieng and Domfe combining. As Ochieng fouled. There are a few appeals, but in fairness, they were rather muted.
Very good in those tight pockets, aren't they, Hume City, with those 1-2 quick passes with their triangles.
Archibald thinking that either Pope was going to continue the run or Harding was there, and neither ended up being what happened. Rather cheap giveaway in the end. Mikola clipping one over the top. Too long, but you can see the idea.
Yeah,
Now we're trying to unlock that Hume back line. Sorry, Mark.
The idea was right there. Just didn't get the right connection on it to get the ball over the top the way he wanted. Just looking around the grounds, Ollie, Melbourne Victory have taken a 2-0 lead against the Melbourne Knights at Thompson Stadium, and Preston have taken a 1-0 lead against Oakley at Jenna Steele Stadium.
So the Melbourne Victory 2-0 up on the Melbourne Knights. Is it time to start calling you the Oracle after your podcast predictions during the week?
Did predict a 3-0 win for Victory. Also did predict Hume to win this one 2-0, so got that one wrong already, Ollie.
I forgot that one had been made. Maybe not there, maybe a bit more work for you to do. Archibald giving chase. Into touch for South Melbourne ball.
South Melbourne's intensity is really, really high tonight. That's what they've been lacking the last 2-3 weeks, really flat performances. But they're definitely up and about tonight.
Side of the football, looking to try and release his Grove. South Melbourne able to deal with that. Evans fizzing one into the feet of Gustave Millet. Hume have it back. Cheng. With Harry Ashcroft, one of a number of former Dandenong Thunder players in all red tonight. Kenneth Yildiz and Durkan Kurda, another couple who have swapped red and black for the all red of Hume, as that one is behind for a South Melbourne goal kick. Half an hour gone here in Broadmeadows, and in so many ways it's been a quite wonderful first half, an hour.
Yeah, it's definitely, Hume started the game probably the better of the two sides, and then South Melbourne found their feet and probably been the better side the last 20 minutes. Hume really struggling to create anything going forward, really, since South Melbourne scored. just know South Melbourne's really going to protect this lead now.
Chuck back there. And buys a throw off Gustav Miller.
Between these two benches tonight, Ollie, I think we're going to need a packet of Panadol on the way home.
They've both got to be careful now, though, with yellow cards already brandished in that direction. Evans sliding in. He had his shirt pulled by Isgrove. Could be going to play for a South Melbourne ball anyway.
James tackles are flying in left, right and centre as well.
And is this a better scenario for Max Mikkola? Bit of room to work with here. If you've never watched him play before, he's got the capability to throw it long if he wants. We'll throw it shorter and get the 1-2 from Brennan instead. Back with Brennan. Towards the back post, it's some delivery. Headed high, and then goal bound. And Rob Harding couldn't beat Michael Weir from rather close range. Throw leaving a little bit to be desired. Evans trying to lift one in. Commanding from Weir, who took a bump for his troubles. And I don't think we can repeat what was said by the South Melbourne bench in regards to the cross, but let's just say they weren't happy.
No, definitely not happy with that. But geez, they've really reverted back to plan A tonight. They've got Muller up top with that height, just constantly putting balls into the area, hoping for the best. It's paid off. They've scored a goal from it, from Andy Brennan. But really gone back to basics tonight to try and get themselves back into form.
It's one of those for coaches out there when you're in a barren run of form. It's how much do you change it, how much you trust what you already know in your A1 style, so to speak. Because these South Melbourne players will be used to a certain game plan, and it's how much you want to defer from that in order to try and chase points.
Oh,
played forwards. Domfey trying to get there. He's got over. And Adam Babchar waves it away.
Never a penalty, Ollie. It's great goalkeeping from Lopez, but Domfey too slow to react to that wonderful ball. Really caught the South Melbourne defence napping. Domfey's got to finish that. You've got to look up. You know Lopez's qualities to come off his line so quickly. Domfey was way too slow to react to that.
Tell you what, I wouldn't mind a look at a replay. Weir, well out of his area, sends that one long.
No, it's never a penalty, Ollie. Lopez has won the ball.
Set long, Harding, battling with Yildiz. And Dennis Yildiz with a strong challenge off the shins of the South Melbourne attacker. Perfectly executed from the fullback to win a goal kick.
Domfey disappointed with himself. It's a big moment. To get him behind like that. Again, great goalkeeping from Lopez yet again.
Well, the Hume City bench have the benefit of an iPad, so they've had a look at the replay.
They're always going to think that it's a penalty, Ollie. For me, watching the replay then, Lopez got the ball comfortably. Domfey too slow to react.
We're straight to the fourth official. There's Harding. First time ball. Miller's gone over. And a free kick for South Melbourne. And a yellow card for Ahsan Ishak.
He's been walking a tightrope with those challenges. He's been all over Muller all half. It's only a matter of time before he went into the book. He's got to be careful now.
It's been the South Melbourne profile number 9. Tall, bustling front man that we've seen with the likes of Harry Sawyer and Ajak Riak and Gustav Miller can be added to that list. He's proving a handful tonight.
Yeah, his work rate's been good.
Morgan Evans over this. One arm aloft, right-footed. To the box, headed back across. Mikkola couldn't quite get access to the ball, and Hume City able to clear their lines. Evans back with interest. To the edge of the box, again nodded down. Ford able to get that one away to Domfe, furthest forward. It's great footwork from Michael Domfe, who will try and run at Lampard, show much of the ball to him. Too much in the end. And what looked a promising counter ends up coming to naught for Hume City.
Wrong decision by Domfe again, Ollie. You know, you're on running at the defence. You don't need to try and knock it past a defender in that moment. He's always going to win that. Just keep him tracking back, get closer to the area and strike the ball. Really poor decision in that moment. And then obviously his frustration with that, just taking out the defender and giving away a foul.
To be fair, he did well to get himself in that position.
He did do well, but just needed to keep that momentum going. There was no room to really knock it past him and beat him.
Gone out of play. Let's play for a throw. But no, it is a corner. Close to the byline in the end. It looked as though he was shaping up for a throw, but it is a corner for South Melbourne. Mikula to take regardless. Floats it in. Ball bobbling around and the ricochet benefiting Hume. Kerdar, good sliding challenge from Pope. Well, South Melbourne benefiting from that. Sent forward from Archibald, but rather disappointing in the end from a South Melbourne point of view. Evans up towards Moer. Lost his footing at the crucial point. Reardon. Isgrove swapping wings. Now over to the right-hand side. Can you have a bit of joy against Jordan Lampard here? Works across. Headed away at the first time of asking, and Archibald helping it further clear. Back with Reardon, the former Gold Coast Knight. Also played in NPLMVIC Victoria a few years ago for Port Melbourne. Isgrove down the right. Yildiz might be able to recycle this. Harding watching his every move. Kerdar looking for the 1-2. Well controlled by Burkhan Kerdar. To the byline he goes. Danger snuffed out. Strong sliding challenge coming across from Marshall. And Hume with a set piece from which they can try and profit here.
Great work by Kerdar. You really thought they were running out of space there to create something, but gee, he's so technically good, Kerdar, especially in tight areas.
Burkhan Kerdar sent this in, slips as he took it. Didn't clear the front post. Brendan up and over halfway. Worth mentioning too that Hume lost to South Melbourne 5 times last season. All 5 were losses by a losses by a 1-goal margin rather. Isgrove took that one down spectacularly. He's going to the byline. Unable to make a way through. Behind it goes for a goal kick.
Again, really good work rate from South Melbourne. The players are given 150% tonight. You can just feel it. You know, Harding tracking back there, working all the way to the byline. And we mentioned Jack Pope so far as well, just fighting for every ball. And they're all right in those challenges together.
Just to finish the point on the games last season, last year I suppose, 4 of those 5 games ended in 1-0 wins for South Melbourne. So they've got a blueprint against Hume City and have been able to use it well, particularly in the last 12 months as Lampard looks for the cross, but rather easily pouched by Michael Weir. Reardon looking for Dunphy, closer to picking out someone in the crowd.
That's a really, really poor pass. You know, that pass was never on. Just, you know, especially with the way Hume play, you expect him to just turn around and start again, retain possession.
Kerdar, short for Isgrove. And Lloyd Isgrove has sent that one a fair way back. That one's almost going all the way back to England or Wales. Man born in England, but represented Wales at international level. Either one. That had a fair bit of velocity on it.
Looks fairly frustrated out there as well, Isgrove. Struggling to get into the rhythm tonight.
He's made a mockery of so many defences during his time on these shores, but tonight he's finding that a harder task. Kerdar with a free kick towards Dunphy. Got underneath it, headed it over the top. Offside again.
Yeah, yet again, another great ball from Kerdar, but again, the Hume front line just not timing those runs. Again, not a proper connection on it. Offside again. They can't complain about the delivery. It's 10 out of 10 from Kerdar so far tonight.
Ten out of 10 from number 10, but nobody for Hume able to help it mean more and turn them into goal-scoring chances. Brennan looking for Mikola. South Melbourne ordered to press by their manager Esteban Quintas. Kerdar slipping, presenting it to Pope. Options left and right for Jack Pope. Picks out Archibald. Someone's headed back into the middle and Reardon getting something on it. Ching into the air. Battling then with Harding and it'll be a South Melbourne ball. Just seems those second balls at the moment going the way of South Melbourne.
Yeah, definitely. That's what they haven't been doing well the last few weeks is that second ball battle. That's where they've been getting picked apart. So obviously I've addressed that during the week. And geez, their press has been really good tonight as well, forcing Kerdar to slip there just because of that pressure that he knew he was under.
Fair opportunity for South Melbourne here as we move towards the end of the 45. Max Mikola over it again. His 4th season at South Melbourne. Left-footed. Archibald flicking on and the header going just wide. Much like what we saw in the opening couple of minutes down the other end from Josh O'Kane. That one close to doubling the lead for South.
Hume really struggling to deal with their set pieces from South Melbourne tonight. Another free header inside the area. Could have easily crept into the net.
Kerdar looking for Ochieng, but snuffed out again by South Melbourne. Brennan trying to lift one. That ball leaving a little bit to be desired. And Weir, heavy touch! Playing with fire and almost got burnt. Harding has it back for South Melbourne. A harem-scarer moment at the back for Hume City, and South Melbourne can't make them pay. Goodness me, as we move into 1 minute of added time at the end of the 45, almost a horror moment for the Hume City custodian.
They're really playing with fire in defence tonight, Hume. It's evident what South Melbourne are trying to do. High press, high energy. Just clear the ball when you're in trouble like that. You know, there's no need no need to get yourself into that situation, and it's happened time and time again tonight.
Time enough for South Melbourne to grab a second from this if they're good enough. Brennan. Lampard given a bit of room in which to move, rolls it forwards. Mallet with a good bit of close control to start, but then gave it away just as quickly. Kane. Goes out of play. So far, so good for South Melbourne. The hot seat might not have been hotter for Esteban Quintas, but his team have responded. They head into the break leading by 1-0, and it was a former favourite here at Hume City, Andy Brennan, with the goal that's making the difference so far. It was a ball into the middle that eventually broke for him at the edge of the box, and it was a clever finish to find the bottom corner and give his side a much-needed lead. Still a long way to go for South Melbourne. Therefore, Half-time here at Nasiol Stadium in Broadmeadows, and hometown Hume City are a goal down against South Melbourne, who put in a good first half away from home. Pretty much the prototypical South Melbourne half from years gone by, if we're being honest, but particularly given their recent form, that is a half that they desperately needed. Oliver Kapil is my name, alongside me is Mark Ivkovic, and that's more like it from a South Melbourne side, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%, Ollie. That's the performance that they would have wanted tonight. High energy, a bit more confidence going forward, creating some chances. Hume, on the flip side, really need to start pulling their finger out. In my opinion, they've been very flat, and it's like they're lacking ideas going forward, especially after last week. You know, expected them to come out firing as well. So I'm sure they would have got to kick up the bum at half-time, and they'd want a much better response in this second half.
And yet, with all that said, South Melbourne are only halfway there. This second half will be as much a test of their mettle as the first was, if not even more so. Esteban Quintas, with his team on a 3-game losing skid, a chance to arrest it, and they've made a good start in that, but they've now got to complete the job. So many fiery words out on the pitch and in the respective technical areas in the first 45. I would not expect anything different in the second, as Lloyd Isgrove gets us underway for a huge 3/4 of an hour for both Hume City and South Melbourne. And already, the message from those in the Hume dugout might have been lost, according to the reaction to the first half a minute or so.
Well, I can't blame them. You know, they like to keep the ball usually, and you know, they've been making some poor decisions.
Nicola losing it. Ran himself into a cul-de-sac. Okay, not able to really get it out from under his feet. And now Reardon with space to twist and turn. Over towards Isgrove, who will get there first. Sends one into the middle. And that one headed away by Marshall.
That's much better defending from South Melbourne. I would have expected Donfay to win that battle there, but Marshall, geez, coming in from behind. Great header.
First time it feels like we've seen Lloyd Isgrove with a bit of space in which to operate too.
It was a great ball into the area.
Dennis Yildiz over to take this. Has the option short if he wants. Doesn't use that. Sends it in towards the front post. And his best delivery, Lampard will send that one high and away. South Melbourne substitutes go for a run down below. Fair bit of talent to pick from for Esteban Quintas, should he wish. Lucas Inglese and George Mells and Luca Durso among those substitutes for South Melbourne. Reardon. Donfay back to Reardon. Driving forward to the edge of the box. It's Reardon! It's just wide. Stepping through. Aaron Reardon given a fair bit of space and almost punished South for letting him step through so easily.
Well, that's the first time we've seen South Melbourne tonight just back off like that. Great strike. Just whizzing past that back post. Much better from Hume, though. Good start to the half. I feel like an early goal here from Hume will rattle South Melbourne.
Sent forward from Pope to Brennan. And get away from Ford. He's able to keep The former Hume wide man honest. Forward prodding it away from Brennan. That rather cynical from the South Melbourne goal scorer. And his involvements in that battle will earn him a yellow card.
It's a lazy tackle from Brennan. It's like he just ran out of legs and thought, you know what, I'm just going to bring you down.
He has spent time with the Newcastle Jets previous. It looked for a split second like he was playing for the Newcastle Knights with a bit of a rugby tackle.
I like that one, Ollie.
Dunfett looking down for Isgrove, but Archibald helping that one high. Ashcroft. O'Kane. Probably the best chance for Hume earlier on in the piece. Glancing ahead of wide. Getting the ball on the right hand side. Reardon didn't spot him. Good play by Lloyd Isgrove. Hume faithful wanting a foul once, then twice, and eventually Anna Babchar gives in.
They'll be happy conceding fouls around that area, South Melbourne. No threat to them. As long as they slow down Hume's play, they'll be happy with that.
Reardon. That one poor by his standards. Shaq going all the way back to his goalkeeper. We're looking out wide. Brennan, a great first touch out of the sky. Looking for Lampard and forward back there. The man who spent last year with Waterford in the League of Ireland. Didn't get the continuity of first team football that he would have liked. Only 4 appearances in the Irish top flight for the man formerly of Perth Glory. So capped it on the 20 level for Australia as Max Mikkola gets this one ready. A sight we've seen so many times before. Hurls one long to the edge of the 6-yard box. It's flicked on. The acrobatic enough effort. Able to work for Gustav Moller. As Weir gets Hume going. Ochieng in space. South Melbourne backpedaling. Mark Ochieng, right-footed, high towards the back post. Lopez claiming, and that was a bit anticlimactic.
Very anticlimactic. He had a lot of time there, Mark Ochieng. Usually a very good deliverer of the ball, but be very disappointed with that. I feel like they're lacking a cutting edge up top tonight, Hume. They've had good spells of play, just can't get that final edge up top. Feel like it'll be only a matter of time before we see Russell enter the fray.
Brennan, Moller on the turn. Pass back towards Brennan. Undersold.
He looks really underdone, Muller. You know, he's trying his best, but he just seems very immobile on the pitch. You know, those second efforts, he just can't get his legs going.
Sign from Skov Shaved in the Danish lower leagues. Isgrove looks for a bit of space in which to work. Finds Berkan Kerdar, who's inside the box. Ball sent in, but to no one wearing all red. Ishak ran into his Grove. A couple of Hume players not on the same page. A former one looking to run at the Hume black line in Brennan. Make his way into the box. It's Andy Brennan looking for the near post. Beaten away by Weir. Ball back in. Headed back across towards Moller, who's gone over. Adam Babchar waves it away. And Hume move away. Close to a second for South Melbourne. Hume getting away with one, a rather tame effort in the end, but Andy Brennan, probably South's best in an attacking sense on the night, coming close again.
Probably should have hit that with his left foot. Ollie did so well to get into that spot, but just a weak effort on his right at that near post. Look, if he smashed it home with his left, would have been a better option. Hume very slow moving the ball around as well. South Melbourne could play this game all day. Need to move the ball a lot quicker to penetrate this defence. South Melbourne, Hume's just allowing South Melbourne to set up their structures really well and finding it hard to break them down. They need to move the ball a lot more quicker.
You just wonder if that was the exact message from those with the Hume badge on their jackets at half-time.
Can't help but feel the presence of Rick Marchioli's missing tonight as well, especially with the way Hume do like to play. You do need the main man in charge to orchestrate that on the touchline.
He was red-carded last week in the loss to Heidelberg, a decision that compounded the misery. There was plenty of it for Hume fans. Red card certainly not helping. Lampard. Jankovic, the South skipper. Towards Moller, who lost it. Scroff taking it away. Former Central Coast Mariner getting it back off of Lloyd Isgrove. Domfey, first touch into space and getting back on terms. Jake Marshall with that rangy leg sliding in and poking it away for a throw.
Great defending from Marshall. Looked like Domfey was away there with his pace, but Marshall's deceivingly quick, able to get there in the end.
16 goals last term for Michael Domfey for Northcote City in VPL 1, earning him a crack at a league higher up.
No mucking around from South Melbourne there.
Scruffed over to the left-hand side for Yildiz. Isgrove back towards Dennis Yildiz. Can he keep it in play? He did, but Marshall in a good position to deal with that. Sav Moller perhaps wanting a free kick. He dealt with it well. And that one will be given. A few Bronx cheers from those in the grandstand here at Nassiol Stadium as George Mells prepares to make his introduction into this one. Approaching a milestone in this league. This will be appearance number 94. 10 goals in his previous 93. Looks like he'll take the place of Andy Brennan. Who won't be able to keep that one in play. He may as well stay off the pitch. As he sees his number go up in red. And the goal scorer making his exit to an applause from the South Melbourne coaching staff.
There's a good performance from Andy Brennan. Obviously getting the goal as well. It did look like he was running out of legs the last 5-10 minutes. You saw with that lazy foul to get the yellow card.
Didn't quite reach the hour, Andy Brennan, but found himself on the score sheet, and what a telling goal that might prove to be. Attempted 1-2 between Yildiz and Isgrove that didn't come off. Jack Pope with so much poise stepping through the middle of a couple. Lloyd Isgrove leaving a bit on him off the ball. Jack Pope almost losing it, but did as well to weave his way away. Hume pressure starting to lift, but so much composure from Jack Pope. Not the most experienced player, but you wouldn't know it.
No, he's been exceptional tonight. I think he's been probably the standout performer out of both sides this evening. Just his, like you said, his composure on the ball and then his work rate off it tonight's been exceptional.
Lampard going to work away from Ochieng. Over towards Max Mikkola, who drifts his way infield. Away from Ford, ran into Ochieng. No free kick in that.
Silly by Mikkola to run into that kind of traffic as well. There's nothing Ochieng could really do in that situation. Was contact, probably would have hurt Mikkola as well, but you know, he's brought that upon himself running into that traffic. Should have gone around them instead of cutting back inside.
Max Mikkola still down. And slow to rise. Will Quartermain, the fourth official, getting an earful, but that's been the story of his night. It's a thankless task being an official. Fair play to those that do it.
Well, we thought we'd need a packet of Panadol. I think Will Quartermain's going to need about 2 of them.
Tell you what, no official, in whatever capacity, should be nervous that I'd be coming for their job. Back for Weir. Up into the air by Lampard. And Pope as Kerdar went in. Oh, slammed against O'Kane by Mells as Lampard limps away.
So look, nasty on first glance, didn't it?
Great first touch into space by Lloyd Isgrove. It's Lloyd Isgrove! It's absolutely magic! The man capped once by Wales with a bit of Welsh wizardry to draw Hume level.
Jeez, what a finish from Lloyd Isgrove. He's struggling to get into the game, but that's why he stays on the pitch, because he can produce moments like that. Absolutely great finish, one touch, and just to smash it home like that. Well done to Lloyd Isgrove. What a way to get back into the game. Just, but he said South Melbourne just sitting off a little bit. Again, you know, no one pressing the man there to close him down. You know what Isgrove's capable of as well. Jeez, what an eruption as well from the home fans, making some noise. Game on now. So let's see how South Melbourne can react to that. They were pretty comfortable until that, so I'm sure Hume will gather a bit of momentum after a finish like that to get back into the game.
Hasn't he sent those Hume fans into raptures? 18th goal in this league, it might well be one of his very best. He scored a few absolute belters in the red and white of Hume City. Think back to a couple last year, but that is upper echelon stuff.
It's going to be hard to beat that one for goal of the week, isn't it, Ollie?
There's a long way to go in the weekend, but he's laid down a marker And of course, we're not privy to what goals have been scored tonight with our involvement here, but if there's one that's beating that, it must be an absolute perler.
Jeez, South Melbourne will be rattled by that as well. You know, they were defending quite well. Hume struggling to create any openings, and then to concede a goal just out of nothing. It's a bit of blow for them.
Doesn't it speak to the proficiency of Lloyd Isgrove? Has hardly been in this game and then gets on the ball and scores an absolute peach of a goal to draw his team level.
Yeah, that just shows the quality that he does have. You know, he can have a bit of a quiet game, but can produce a moment like that. It's just a fantastic strike.
One appearance for Wales at international level. One appearance in the Premier League, which came for Southampton against Liverpool back in 2014. Rarely, if ever, do you see players with a CV like that playing in this league, and we are blessed to have him as the ball's sent forward. Harding trying to fight the good fight for South Melbourne. He's gone over, no free kick as Weir sends that one towards this grandstand at Naciol Stadium that is as loud as it's been all night.
There's Hume again playing with fire at the back. It's very static there. Just no need to play those short passes to Michael Weir. Clear it yourself. Get out of trouble. Yildi's just got away with that. Harding nearly snuck around the back.
Mikola, posed by Ford. Max Mikola's got the better of him. Down the south left he goes. Sends one in low towards the top of the 6-yard box, and it's sliced wide. Water bottles flying everywhere. South Melbourne so close to retaking the lead. But not to be.
Jeez, when things aren't going your way, they're not going your way, Ollie. Great work by Mikola to run past Ford and get the ball into the area. But Harding, you've got to finish that. Big moment for South Melbourne. Would have been a great way to respond to the Isgrove goal, but not to be.
Made a really good run, did Rob Harding, but just couldn't provide the finish he was after.
Looks like Michael Weir's in a little bit of trouble.
Damon Camilleri is the backup goalkeeper for Hume if required. Formerly of Avondale. And also Western Suburbs in State League 1 Northwest, where he spent last season.
Just listening to the Hume coaching staff there, Ollie. Again, not happy with the clearances from the back. As we've mentioned a couple of times, just clear it long. It's got to go over the halfway line and quickly when you're in trouble.
This would be an NPL Men's Victoria debut for Damon Camilleri if needed here. Michael Weir, not in the best of ways, but looks as though he'll be okay. We will see a Hume change. It won't be Damon Camilleri coming on, it'll be Joel Russell.
Just watching the replay of that chance, Michael Weir just clutched at his hamstring a little bit when he tried to save that Harding shot. Just keep an eye on that one. So it's taking the goal kick though, so he should be okay.
Hopefully, as Joel Russell will take the place of Michael Dunfer here. First season at the club for Hume's number 17, has a goal already against Altona. Scored 14 of them in Queensland for the Gold Coast Knights in 2024. And a player that will play the same position as Michael Dunphy, but will offer something a little bit different.
A little bit more runs in behind, I think, and that's exactly what Hume need. Doesn't have the physical presence of Dunphy, but a bit more pace.
In saying that, though, Michael Dunphy isn't slow.
No,
but
he's not.
haven't seen the pace be used as much as we otherwise might. As South Melbourne win themselves a corner.
Just a score update around the grounds. So Melbourne Victory rounding out a 2-1 win against the Knights. Heidelberg 2-0 over Dandenong City, full time there. An absolute ripper at BT Connor, 2-2 between Preston and Oakley.
And we've got some game here as well. Corner for South Melbourne. It's a left-footed ball. Flicked away as Kerdar gets there ahead of Mells. Has he run that out of play for a corner? He has. So another opportunity for South Melbourne. A couple of set-piece chances for them here. Can George Mells, off the bench, provide for South Melbourne here from this? Right-footed. It's a rather dreadful delivery. Anytime you're faced with a corner, you just want to at least clear the front post.
100%.
Long ball forwards. Isgrove back in his own box with a bit of skill to make Marko Jankovic look a little bit silly, and still he goes. He's a tricky customer, Lloyd Isgrove. And then he goes in, rattling Ross Archibald. The two sides to one of the best players in this division.
South Melbourne's reacted well since that equaliser, though. They've had the better of the play the last 5-10 minutes since that goal's gone in. You expected Hume to just go on with it and carry that momentum, but it's been all South Melbourne the last 5 minutes.
Kerdar, fouled by Evans. It's one of those that Hume have had their spells in this half. South Melbourne have had their spells as well, and they're in the midst of one, you would say. This game is so well poised. Best part of 20 minutes to go in the 90. And still so many questions to be answered. One apiece with 19 minutes to play. And so much to gain and so much to lose for both of these clubs.
That was superb from Ford there. Thought for all money Mikla was going to close him down and win the ball, but very silky to get out of that situation.
Dennis Yildiz clattered into on the Hume left. Did say earlier on that these two teams won't leave anything out of there. And if that challenge doesn't tell you that, then goodness me. This is all you want in a game of football.
They're not leaving anything to chance, are they? They're just battling for every ball, both sides. Very physical game, but that's when there's so much on the line. You've just got to give 110% right every challenge. It's been well refereed by Adam Bavchar as well, just letting things go, understanding that it is a physical type of game, both sides making big challenges, not letting the game get too out of hand, but just letting it flow as well.
Fords brought down by Max Mikula from behind. And again, another flashpoint out of nothing. Moller and Ocheng, the two players involved. We've just mentioned how well Adam Bavchar has refereed this game. Now the question was, what is he going to do to disseminate this spot fire? Two benches incensed. Yellow card for Moller, yellow card for Ocheng.
If that's not the most unnecessary yellow card I've ever seen in my life, Ollie, I don't know what is. What was the point of getting so fired up over that? I don't know.
Mark Chieng protesting his innocence. It is fair to say he's giving up some size in a battle with Gustav Muller. There's not too many players, if any, in this league who would be taller than South's number 9. That's the point that Mark Chieng is making to the 4th official. Russell lost it to Pope, who, regardless of the result of this game, I think South's number 99 has gained some admirers. Russell did well to keep hold of the ball. Burkhan Kerdar rolling it forward. The cutback looked on just behind Burkhan Kerdar. And South smuggle it away as far as Mikkola. He goes over. And the whistle comes for the guilty party. Good build-up play from Hume City until that final pass.
Jeez, Dennis Yildiz, you've got to hit that. You had all the time in the world, all the space in the world to have a shot on goal. You've got to back yourself in that moment. Absolutely the wrong decision to cut it back into trouble there. What a moment for Hume City.
Forwards. Became aware of the Mikkola pressure at just the right time. Isgrove trying to just ghost him behind there. Didn't quite work for him. Reardon grappling with Muller. And winning out, but the ball too long for Isgrove. He's giving chase. And Javi Lopez called into action to deal with it before Lloyd Isgrove could get there.
You get the feeling that this game is just one bad tackle away from an explosion. They're really playing this game on a knife edge, both sides. Just feel like there's one big moment in this game about to happen, Ollie.
If we're one tackle away from an explosion, Mark, what would you call what we've already seen? We might need a new word for it.
You just feel like the tackles are getting more aggressive as the game goes on. Obviously, more tired legs, more frustration coming out.
Ashcroft for Reardon. Long ball not working for Russell. And we said earlier on that when Michael Domfey was taken off for Joel Russell, something different might be offered, but again they're trying the long ball.
Yeah, just really poor decision making in the middle of the pitch tonight, all game for Hume.
Forwards for Isgrove, killing it down superbly, Lloyd Isgrove. Looking for a run at Morgan Evans. Right-footed ball. Chieng will get there. Keeps it in play. Lifts one in. Too long for all in Hume Reds. Isgrove electing to let that one run behind for a corner. Burkhan Kerdar will walk over to try and send this one in. A crowded 6-yard box. Javi Lopez somewhat removed. Ball into the front post and into the side netting.
It's been a 10 out of 10 with his delivery tonight, but that was probably a 1 out of 10 there, Ollie.
Can't be perfect all the time. Couple of South Melbourne substitutes getting readied. Ford out jumps Muller. Or does he? Not according to Adam Bavchar, who cards the Hume City fullback. Lucas Inglese then. And Luca Durso.
It's one of the strangest yellow cards. Just watching the replay there. Clean header of the ball. Comfortably won that forward. I'm not sure what that yellow card was for.
Jankovic with a free kick. Floats it. Back towards the middle, but Ford's able to win the header. Isgrove away from Pope and sends it into the channel for Russell to chase. Jankovic sweeping up. Expertly so. Did he run out of room? Answer to that is yes. And now we can get these changes. It looks like the 11 of Rob Harding is going up alongside the 21 of Ross Archibald. Fresh legs for South Melbourne as they look to try and push for a winner.
Took the words out of my mouth, Ollie. I think just some fresh legs, much needed fresh legs. You know, they've been pressing high all night, and that press has kind of worn off a little bit the last 10-15 minutes.
Isgrove eludes the would-be challenge. Otcheng rolling that one forwards. Berkan Kerdar inside the area to the back post. Russell couldn't get there. Agonisingly close for Hume City, who are pushing.
Good ball into the area. Russell's got to be more aware of that. Get into the right position. His starting position was all wrong. Just put the right ball into the area for a striker. He's just got to have that killer instinct, Russell.
Reardon looking for Russell. Under hit. Durso. Covered off by Ishak initially. Durso stayed with him. Was sent into the advertising hoardings. And got the wrong end of the decision too.
Marshall's been superb tonight as well for South Melbourne. Reading the play really, really well tonight.
Have been a fair few standouts in an individual sense. On every single line as well. Header won by Ford. Couldn't get his head out of the way of that one either. As Otcheng arcs one down the line. Jankovic back for Javi Lopez, the three-time NPLMVIC Victoria goalkeeper of the year. As that one's miscontrolled. Isgrove stepping in. Lloyd Isgrove looking to pull one back. Behind it goes for a corner. It could have been so much more for Hume.
Jeez, Inglese got away with that one, didn't he? Just sleeping on the ball there. Just came into the game as well. Great pressing from Isgrove. Poor touch from Inglese. Probably should have just hit it that first time. Isgrove, when he had the momentum, allowed Inglese to recover and win the ball back.
Corner for Hume City. Otcheng in and almost outfoxing Javi Lopez. The better safe than sorry approach to turn it behind for another corner.
And pressure's mounting on the South Melbourne defence now.
One league win in the last 22 against South Melbourne for Hume. Can they put that right today? It's on back in towards Ashcroft, who stayed forward. As Hume are caught offside. That ball was hammered into the car park. There might be someone with a broken windshield after that. All needless in the end with the offside decision already made. Not sure it was to know, really, though, Mark Otcheng.
No, it wasn't. Again, these offsides are just letting Hume City down when they get into dangerous areas. Thought about it for a second there, Lopez, but just quickly realised no need to muck around in the back now at this time of the game.
Going to see Obieze come on for Hume here. So, Hume City, who are looking for a circuit-breaking win over South. South Melbourne having scored their first goal of the month with Andy Brennan in the first half. Haven't scored since that crazy 3-3 game against Melbourne Victory on the 24th of February. Now looking for their first point or points of the month. As it stands, we'll get one, but still time for them to build that to 3. Free kick could help the cause here as Obieze waits. And it'll be Aaron Reardon who will come off.
We should have made that change a bit earlier. I reckon Ollie's he's been poor tonight, Reardon. A lot of turnovers in the middle of the park. There's a lot of long, hopeful balls to no one tonight. Be disappointed in his performance. Usually a consistent performer for the Hume City side, but just not his night tonight.
Obieze coming on here, scored 1 goal for Western United's NPL side in 2 VPL appearances last year. It was in a 7-0 win over Langwarren in a game that Campbell Doverson, who is contracted to South for 2025, also scored in. Joined Hume for the second half of last season and scored once in the NPL competition too. That one sent in, broke to the edge of the box. The effort from Marshall, expertly tipped round the post by Michael Weir. It didn't matter. Free kick already been given.
Great save from Weir. It wasn't to know that a foul was given. Just what a turn up that would have been, Marshall, to score so late in the game. Great goalkeeping from Michael Weir, though.
Scored 5 goals. Jake Marshall, this now appearance number 142 in the NPLM's Victoria competition. I don't think he'd have scored many like that. Lampard, strong against Dochieng. Who he offers a hand to. So our match of the round this week in the NPL Men's Victoria competition, building towards an exciting conclusion. Kerdar. It's Grove. Looking for an avenue down the Hume City left. Ball played towards Eze, who was second in the race to that ball, but did well to make something of it and forced the ball into touch for a Hume City throw. And it's Yildiz over to take it. Eze, back for Yildiz. Ended up losing it, Pope miscontrolling. O'Kane. Ashcroft. Ishak rolling it forwards. Isgrove is there. Options arriving in the box. It's pulled towards the edge of the box. South Melbourne eventually clearing away. Ishak sends that one out of play for a throw. Those Hume City fans riding every single kick of the football. "90 seconds just about of the 90 minutes left to play. The number that we see on the board of Will Quartermain in a few moments will be quite telling. It'll be interesting to see what we get added on at the end. Kerdar, Ochieng. Works it across for Eze. Looking to sidestep the challenge of Pope. Kept hold of the ball. O'Kane. Isgrove. An under-hit ball towards Obi Eze. Lloyd Isgrove. Eze making the run ahead of the ball. South Melbourne appealing for offside. Appeals falling on deaf ears. The pass able to find Dennis Yildiz. Breaks kindly for Hume City. Kerdar central. Losing out. Pope driving away to chip one to the channels, but we're out to deal with that. This game opening up. Hume City have it back. Ball over the top, looking for Russell. Good defending.
Really don't know why Hume are persisting with these long balls over the top. You're not going to beat Marshall and Yankovic playing that type of game.
Kerdar had it stuck underneath his feet. 4 minutes of added time at the end of the 90. Ochieng bowled over by Max Mikkola. Free kick. I tell you what, as a fourth official, you can only give the amount of time that you're instructed. I would have loved to see another couple of minutes on this board because I am loving this.
Yeah,
would have loved another couple.
4 minutes to go, Ollie. Anyone's ball game.
Another yellow card brought out. It's for a different member of the Hume bench, hence why we haven't seen a red brought out, but the second time a Hume staff member has been carded.
Tensions are boiling over left, right and centre here. I think it's just whoever remains the most composed can nick it. Good opportunity here for Hume with Curtis' delivery. South pushing up with a high line. Really need to time their runs properly this time, Hume.
If there's a goal either way here, emotions are hitting fever pitch. A false start from Kerdar from the free kick. This time he delivers. Flicked on, and Millet first to that. Giving the ball away though. How much dare have these two sides got to try and find a winner? Winning the head of Yankovic. Ochieng controlling. Hooking it away, Marshall. Okay, Lloyd Isgrove. Can he have one final say? Burkhan Kerdar in space. Does he elect to shoot? He did. It was charged down. O'Kane and Isgrove again. Forward for Russell. He looked to pull it back. Pope first on the scene. Mallet using that frame, going over, winning the free kick.
Can't work out with Hume when they're in those tight pockets towards the byline. It's been the continual same cut back to the edge of the area, but there's never been a player there to get onto the end of it. So it's obviously a routine play that they practice at training, but just really not executing it well tonight.
Lampard. Mikkola making the run down the inside left channel. Jordan Lampard looking further afield in towards Mollet, who battles and fouls his man.
Correct decision in the end. Muller all over him. This will be the last chance for him to attack South's defence. Draw does neither side any favours, really.
It keeps the heat on Esteban Quintas.
I think he'll be safe for another week, Ollie. So he'll be happy to see the response from his players. It's been a good performance from them, considering where they've been the last few weeks. Not much he can do when Lloyd Isgrove pulls out a strike like that. Besides that, they've been good defensively. Struggled to create anything in the last 20 minutes though.
And that's Oysar is getting ready here. Might be a scenario where there's not enough time for him to be introduced here. Long from Weir. Straight to Marshall. Is there time for Hume? Getting in the way there, Russell. Long ball over towards Mikola. Ford's got to be watchful, and he dealt with it well. Back for Weir. Final throw of the dice for Hume, perhaps. Long ball forward. Russell will have a look, and Javi Lopez will take that just inside his area. Check of the watch from Adam Babchuk. The telling sign that there isn't long left. And there's the sign, there's no time left. A draw that might not do either side any favours, but a draw that might not tell the full story of what a tantalising game of football this was. It's a match that deserved a winner, but sometimes you don't get, as fans, what you deserve. Players from both sides giving absolutely everything. Andy Brennan, the former Hume man, getting the opener for South in the first half. Broke him at the edge of the box, and it was a really clever finish to fire the ball past Michael Weir. The response came in the second half, and it was a dazzling strike from Lloyd Isgrove to draw Hume City back level. As much as both sides pushed for a winner, no one could find it, and so we end as we started, level. Full time here at Naciol Stadium in Broadmeadows. It's finished. Hume City 1, South Melbourne 1. Mark Ivkovic.
Yeah, look, South Melbourne ending the drought of not getting any points. They would have much preferred to get all three, but wasn't to be for them. You know, besides that Andy Brennan chance, and Rob Harding had that chance not long after Isgrove got the equaliser. But it was a much better performance from South Melbourne. I think they'll be relieved with that. And Hume, on the other hand, will take a point from that because they weren't really in the game for long periods of that.
So South Melbourne winless in 5. Hume City with a much better weekend than they had last time out as well. A point apiece, but some game of football to round out what has been a crazy night of NPL Men's Victoria action. Games right across the state with so many scorelines. Mark, you have them in front of you, I think, but there's a fair few to look at, isn't there?
Oakley with a 94th minute winner over Preston's full time there. So, yeah, big night of football in the NPL Victoria, and a couple more to go.
Certainly is. Keep it across the NPL Victoria channels. The NPL Men's and NPL Women's Victoria seasons in full swing. The State League seasons getting underway across this weekend as well here in Victoria. There is a lot to like in Victorian football, and haven't we seen the best of it here tonight as well? From Mark Ivkovic and myself, Oliver Walker-Peel, we will bid you farewell from a rather chilly Naciol Stadium in Broadmeadows. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We hope to see you soon on another NPL Men's Victoria broadcast very, very shortly. Bye for now.